That's why I should be recording Zoom call. And it seems like we're back live again. Maybe. Let's see what we got here. I do see you there. Yep. Episode 31.1. You're episode 31.1. Can you believe?
Yeah, crazy.
You are in crazy. It's been going on for. Someone asked me, has it been going on for 31 weeks? I'm like, yeah, actually, it's been going on for quite a number of weeks. But yes. But anyway. Again, apologize to everyone for the technical difficulties, and we appreciate you bearing with us, but we've had some good conversation with basketball and everything else. And so coming up at the top of the hour, I'm always asking these questions. I'm always asking questions of the guests. I don't think I've actually been able to ask you these questions. So I'm actually I think this has been your 6th time on the show or whatever it is. I wanted to ask you. It's about time that I get to ask you these questions. The first one is from Rob. It's actually from Vanity Fair, and I got it from Rob Lowe. His podcast called Literally. He asked this of David Spade, and David Spade gave him quite the answer that ended up, and it ended up with David. And the story ended up with David Spade stabbing his dad in the leg. So anyway, he was young and he wasn't sure what was going on. But anyway, the question is, so it's not, you probably, God willing, you won't go stab someone in the leg. Question is, you have to see one of these 3 things. Which of these 3 things do you want to see and why? A UFO, Bigfoot, or a ghost?
Definitely not Bigfoot. Yeah, that's like whatever.
No, and not much of it.
UFO or a ghost?
Yeah.
I would say ghost as long as it's somebody that is near and dear to me.
Okay, got it.
Not a random ghost.
Not some random ghost or some
Yeah,
malicious whatever the heck. Okay.
Yeah, and hopefully like the movie Ghost, I could communicate somehow. Not
Right.
see him, but hear him, I guess.
Have you seen a UFO? So you haven't seen a UFO or a ghost ever?
Unless that ghost in 3 men and a baby counts, right?
No, for legit. Because I've never seen a ghost.
For real, no. I've never seen a ghost, anything resembling a ghost. Have I seen stuff in the sky that look like UFOs? Yeah, probably.
Have you been in?
I do believe in extraterrestrial life.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it'd be better.
I think it's naive to think there's no life out there.
Exactly. But then again, how long have you been in the Phoenix area?
30 years.
So then you were in town for the Phoenix Lights.
Yeah.
But you didn't see them.
I definitely saw him on the newscast, but did I see him live? No. But with other instances where I saw stuff at night.
Okay.
Which, like Arsenio Hall used to say back in the day, things that make you go,
Exactly. See, I was living in Tempe at the time of the Phoenix Lights, and I was actually driving from east. So I was actually driving west from Power Road out, and so I'm surprised I never saw them anyway. So it was actually very interesting to be able to see that. So the next question was, what is your greatest extravagance? What is the one thing you have spent a lot of money on yourself?
Really be dating myself now. But I was a big Miami Vice TV show fan back in the day. And I did get a Don Johnson white suit.
Did you? Top to bottom?
Which I don't know how much it cost, but it definitely was a pretty penny back in the early 80s.
You didn't care. You had to have it. With the huaraches too. No socks. No socks.
No socks. T-shirt underneath.
Damn, that must have been comfy as hell though in the summer, because I mean,
yeah,
because it was
very airy.
Absolutely. Exactly, it's that linen, so it's nice, and you're supposed to wear it in Miami, so obviously you could wear that there. Thus, the inclusion of Miami Vice song in the podcast. However, the one song that I absolutely love is oh God, what's his?
All the Stars?
No, it's the other one by Jan Hammer. Crockett's theme.
Oh yeah.
That's the other one that that would be one. I had this playlist it was on a CD when I
Yeah.
first started traveling, and then it
Mhm.
shifted it to an iPod, and now I have it as a Spotify playlist. But there's this string of songs that I just listen to as soon as
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
one
it's just
song.
crazy. Yeah, it's just crazy that that TV show was just so ahead of its time, just incorporating songs.
It was a
Uh,
video. It was so appropriate with
oh
the
yeah,
80s, right? It was just
absolutely,
one
yeah.
big fat video.
I mean, in the air of the night by Phil Collins. Not that it's a famous song, even in a
Right.
vacuum, but obviously Miami Vice like propelled the popularity of that song a
Yes.
few notches. You belong to the city by Glenn Fry.
Oh, right.
I
Yeah.
mean, it would have some mild success, but again, it was on Miami Vice. That's all I needed.
Everyone
Um,
was probably fighting to get on that show,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I remember like reading back in the day that I mean, that was like a launching pad, and then
Absolutely.
and artists wanted to get on there because it was like it was a different exposure than MTV, which obviously was in its infancy back then.
Absolutely.
But people, a lot of artists wanted to be on MTV, but Miami Vice maybe not give you the same level of exposure as MTV, but pretty darn close.
I
I mean,
think it actually. So, what year was it? What year was Miami Vice? What years was
it
that?
was like maybe like 83 for 87 or
See,
something like
that's the
that.
thing too, because MTV launched and it wasn't everywhere, so it probably
Oh
did
yeah,
give you
yeah,
the
because it was
exposure you
cable. Yeah,
needed.
yeah,
Absolutely. So, everyone
yeah.
didn't have it, and then what nights did it come on? What nights was that on? Do you remember? And I think I do.
I want to say Thursday, but I could be wrong.
Okay, I'll
It's
have to
been a
look
while.
it up because for some reason I thought it
Yeah,
was Friday nights.
maybe it was.
And the other reason I'm saying it's weird for a Friday night thing is that because usually nowadays if you put a show on Friday nights,
Oh,
it
it's about to be canceled next year.
exactly
Yeah,
it's a death sentence. So having Miami Vice on a Friday night, like everyone would see. But then again, if I remember correctly, back in the day, it was always Dukes of Hazzard and then Knight Rider on Friday nights,
yeah, that's right.
right? So I'm thinking that may actually be the whole thing. So that was the other
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Dukes of Hazard. so,
That was a
something no
huh?
something no producer would dream about just about airing these days. That's
That
for
was a
sure.
fun show back in the day, but I
I
don't know
know,
if
but
it's
like
entire. There's a lot of
cringy moments.
that
Yeah,
is
but
it.
I was a big Knight Rider fan, even though I kind of look back and that's kind of lame. That's kind of lame. But
Yeah, that's
back
unfortunate.
then it was enjoyable.
And you know what, guys? You didn't miss much. I mean, Andrew, I'm glad you're back. It was a technical glitch on my part. You didn't miss much. We talked about um, how amazing ASU basketball is going to be, how much to look forward to, and how it's going to be something that's really going to be worthwhile, especially from a schedule perspective and from a talent perspective. And it's definitely something that we should probably turn into a T-shirt this year because ASU basketball you should really be infinitely more excited for because again there's still a lot happening on the football side, but there's going to be some real noise made on the basketball side.
Yeah, and there's going to be overlap between both sports, which is not unusual, but I think you're going to have a lot more marquee games, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
taking place in basketball while ASU football is entering its home stretch.
Right.
So, uh, but that's really been the year of sports in the pandemic. It's like
Yeah.
for months and months you got nothing, and then everything gets dumped at you at the same time. Which
And we
I mean,
will be grateful for it.
sports lovers' dream, I guess it was. Just to have playoffs going on in NBA and
Exactly.
NHL at the same time, and so yeah.
Yep. And then Andrew Taylor, I think it's zero fans, only family is what they're pushing for right now.
Yeah. That's basically been a Pac-12 wide policy in the name of fairness, which I know some people might cringe when you hear that. They just didn't want to have a case where restrictions are much more stringent in state A versus state B. So state A gets to have 4,000 selected fans, and state B still gets no fans. I think that's what was the guiding thought. Agree to disagree. I mean, that's really the eye of the beholder. I think ASU fans might be frustrated if they heard that the Cardinals are now allowed to have 4,200 fans.
Wow.
And I don't know if the 4,200, by the way, is just a fluke or not.
Exactly.
That's another story. But yeah, so I think ASU fans are definitely frustrated that the Cardinals now are able to move beyond the friends and family model, able to have 4,200 fans and no fans in sight for the 3 ASU home games.
That's actually very interesting. I didn't know that. That's very interesting because
that's just the way how the cookie crumbles. But
maybe their commissioner is competent. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe their commissioner is competent. They're able to work with the cities and the health organizations and everything else to get to the point where it's like, okay, what do we need to satisfy in order to, move through these gates, instead of saying, okay, I just need to pay the rent for an entire building in downtown San Francisco. Yeah.
Good point.
Exactly.
Good point.
Yeah, actually, Eric brings up a fantastic point. You can buy cutouts on thesundevils.com, so make sure you're able to go ahead and do that. I don't know if they're going to carry the cutouts from Sun Devil Stadium to the bank. I would imagine they would charge you to do that, or they were going to make you buy 2 cutouts.
I don't think it's going to be a 2-for-1 deal if that's what you're asking. Yeah, I mean, I think they're going to charge for cutouts. I think the charge was what, $15, I believe, or $50?
No, I thought it was $50.
$50, okay, $50.
It's $40 for, I guess, if you're a ticket holder, and $50 for everyone else. Is I think what I saw.
It is loss of revenue with what's going on right now. As I know, I saw some fans complaining, but there's some methods of the madness. I mean, it's not like you're having like 5,000 fans in the stands. Oh, and we're gonna have cutouts over and above that. I mean, I guess that's really not the case. So yeah, I mean, I am expecting cutouts as a financial arena.
Everyone's going to find a way to complain regardless.
Well, I mean, it's a cutout. It's not a body in the building. So
what was that? Who did that? Was it WWE that did that, where they had videos, or they had TVs in the stadium, and then they like projected their face onto the monitor that was in the stadium, but then they were actually kind of sitting in the seat because they had a camera there. Did you see that?
Well, and NBA definitely did that.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, the technology set up by the NBA in the bubble was incredible, because those virtual fans really looked like they were sitting behind the bench or sitting on the side of the court.
So that's always
incredible.
Good. Yeah. So the virtual fans was good.
Yeah. So I mean, if the NCAA tournament is going to be in a bubble, I would expect that to happen.
See, that would be unreal too, because then you could say, all right, here's the virtual fan, and you don't just get one sideline ticket, right? You can buy a sideline ticket and everyone's watching the same exact view. So I think that would be brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's see, 2 more questions, I believe. I asked about your extravagance, and then what's your most treasured possession? Not kids, not family. What's your most treasured possession?
Wow.
What bit? Question. Yeah, like what bit of memorabilia is yours?
I don't know. I mean, I just think, I don't know if treasured possession is the correct description of it, but just I think, pictures with loved ones aren't here anymore.
Okay, absolutely.
And obviously old school stills pictures, which maybe it was lazy to never scan it in the last 30, 40 years.
Right.
But I should say 30 years. I mean, I don't think scanners were back then available. The last 20 years, let's say.
Okay.
But I mean, I would say that, because those are things, God forbid, as a fire.
Of course.
Those are the things that you're grabbing first. You have to.
Absolutely, and that's.
I mean, your laptop. I'm sure your laptop, but it's backed up to the cloud and everything. But
yeah.
Those are things, like once they're gone, they're gone.
The physical photos are one of this. Like I know exactly where they are in my closet. So like when we were dealing with the fires, I may have talked about this already. I know where they are. I have my fire box. I can throw it in and run out of the house, and I'm happy. So, and then this one came up from one of the summits. You may have seen this conversation, or you may have heard this question. Please describe the greatest meal you ever had in a restaurant.
Wow. Greatest meal I ever had at a restaurant. Well, not exactly a restaurant setting.
Okay.
But I was fortunate last year to go to northern Italy.
Okay.
Months before the pandemic. My aunt turned 70. She's kind enough to host all of us in a villa in Tuscany.
Right on.
That villa that she rented out did have an authentic pizza oven. And
Oh,
yes, that was by far the best pizza that I had.
that is cool.
So,
And it must have been, and again, it must have been amazing because you were with family, and it was
yeah.
it was an amazing
And
story, amazing memory.
and the villa owner was very specific as to, I will buy the ingredients. I mean, you're paying for it.
Of
I
course,
will buy the ingredients. I will bake it. You cannot touch this pizza oven. He
it
said it in
must.
a nice way. He said that.
No, but I mean, it must have been older. It must have been,
Oh yeah, yeah.
centuries old, right? It must have been.
I would say maybe at least 1 century. I would say, yeah. And I remember taking a picture and uploading it to Twitter and tagging Ralph Amsden. You probably already know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, you did that.
Say, Ralph, you got it right. Here we are having a variety of pizzas in an authentic pizza oven in Tuscany, and pineapple is nowhere to be found.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny.
Yeah,
Well,
So I mean, not exactly a meal in the restaurant, but
that's still a meal. That's
an
actually
authentic pizza oven in Italy. If you're a
that's
pizza
outstanding.
lover, that is the way to go.
That's outstanding. Yeah, so my friend who's going to be who's coming over for Halloween, so they are like our bubble family. He bought a pizza oven that runs off gas and fires up to 700 degrees, so it like cooks the pizza in like minutes. So that's what we're doing for dinner tomorrow. So social distancing, trick or treating, and then just cooking pizza like crazy people. So
Yeah.
and everyone else is going to drink except for me. So yes. Right, and flat pizza like it should be. Although, I'm probably speaking sacrilege here. That Chicago deep dish is something else, though. Oh,
It's funny because I used to be the biggest Chicago dish fan.
uh-huh.
And even before I went to Italy, I was kind of moving more to the New York
Okay.
style. There was one summer I just happened to be in New York twice in the same summer. It's like, yeah, you know what? I'm really more down with the Chicago, but I'm sorry, with the New York pizza.
Yeah.
And as you know, like the Italian pizza is even thinner.
Yeah.
But I really was digging it. I mean,
Absolutely.
look, you don't have to pull a gun to my head to eat a Chicago style pizza, but I can say with honesty, like these days compared to, like, I don't know, 10 years ago, 7 years ago, I would probably choose a New York pizza and or an Italian authentic pizza over Chicago.
Absolutely. But I don't think so. I guess that'd be another I guess maybe that's another question. This is for everyone in the chat. What, not necessarily toppings, but what constitutes bad pizza? Because I there's all different. Oh, anchovy, pineapple, this, this and that. But what constitutes? Is it just a style, or is there no bad pizza, or is it if it's just maybe it's just poorly made?
I don't know. I mean, there's a pizza place in my neck of the woods that is famous for its hot dog pizzas, and my kids didn't mind it, So I don't know. Maybe that answers your question. Like, there's no such thing as a bad topping, but look, if you don't like pineapple, you don't like pineapple. If you don't like mushrooms, you don't like mushrooms. If you don't like anchovy, you don't like anchovies.
Hot dog pizza.
It's a bestseller over there, and it does pretty well with it. So
That's funny. Yeah, Paul
Paul
Hornstein said soggy crust. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, soggy crust is it.
Yeah. Although stuffed crust is really good.
It is. You know what? Speaking of hot dog pizza, this is nothing. My son absolutely adores the cheeseburger omelet at IHOP. They don't make it anymore, but
I never had that. No.
I had never had it either, but he got it, and it's an omelet with the ground beef in there. But they put all the stuff from a cheeseburger, the cheese, the lettuce, the tomato, the mustard, the ketchup, all of it in the. It was surprisingly. It was surprisingly good.
You need to tell your son to stay true to his heritage and roots and have a chorizo on.
That I'm working
kind of like cheeseburger, but much better.
That would be the way to go. And I'm trying. It's like
I'm a big chorizo guy. That chorizo to me is a very underrated.
It's so good, and you know what it is? I'm very lucky because my butcher here near the house makes a brilliant pork chorizo, and I'm just like, it's almost as good as what I can get back. Where my parents go. And
Tucson,
so I'm really happy that I'm actually got like something, because I'll admit this one, I got no shame. There was a tofu chorizo from Trader Joe's, and it was actually passable. It actually worked out. So I was actually surprised, but Yeah. Oh yes, sugary sauce. Ugh. The sugary
I
sauce.
mean, I like barbecue sauce,
No, but
but
in the pizza. I'm sorry, sugary pizza sauce.
oh, okay, well, yeah, because I mean, because sometimes you can really have a barbecue chicken pizza, might even have a base of barbecue sauce versus a base of tomato sauce. But yeah, but I mean, I'm totally okay with chicken barbecue
Absolutely.
pizza.
And then
But but I don't think I ever had a pizza that chicken barbecue that
that's a
is too
CPK, right?
sugary.
That's a California Pizza Kitchen does that barbecue one.
Yeah, I mean they all do it. There's a chain here called Barrows,
Oh
which I
yeah.
think does does a really good chicken barbecue pizza. But my favorite go to is Sal's Pizza in Gilbert.
Oh, okay.
That's actually more authentic, and they're known for their baked ziti pizza,
Oh
which
wow,
is really
that's
good.
cool. That
Really
does
good. Yeah,
sound really good.
yeah.
Andrew Taylor, yeah, Spanish or Mexican chorizo?
Mm, I would say Mexican. I don't know if I
I've
ever had
never
really had.
tried Spanish because he says Spanish
Yeah.
chorizo is next level, and I've never had that.
Okay.
So I think that
I
was
mean,
a
just
try.
living here in the Phoenix area. I don't think. I mean, I know you can get Spanish food, but it's so dominated by Mexican food, which is totally
Exactly.
fine by me. But yeah, I like tapas and stuff like that.
Absolutely.
I don't know if the Spanish chorizo
Yeah, it
is
would
part
be
of
in
that
there.
tapas
Yeah,
or
I'd have to
not.
try that. And then Paul Hornstein saying that there's only 5 things that belong on pizza: anchovies, meatball, mushrooms, pepperoni, and sausage. Of those 5, I disagree with 2.
I'm not a mushroom guy at all, but I
Okay.
know it's a big seller.
Yeah, I
But
am a huge mushroom.
I haven't had anchovy in a long time. I mean, I'm okay with it. I'm just not a big seafood guy to begin with.
Oh,
So
got it. See, I prefer it my Caesar, but the one thing is then I'll admit
yeah.
I got no shame. I'll admit this one as well. When I came back for a game, there was
Mhm.
a what is it? There was a pizza joint right there on Apache, right on the corner behind the Taco Bell, and I got there at like 2 in the morning, and I went over there, and they had a breakfast pizza. It had waffles and sausage in it, and
Wow.
it tastes as awful as it sounds. It maybe because it wasn't fresh, I don't know, but it was like
Well, I mean, the sausage, okay, that makes sense. But waffles, come on.
it wasn't right. You know what it was? It was overcooked Eggo waffles, and then the sausage just wasn't right. So anyway, I know.
It's like that's when I mean, it's good to work in the lab, but sometimes you can try a little too hard in the lab.
It's my own damn fault for buying it. I should have just said no. I should have just said no and just left it
Yeah.
alone and left it alone. What are you up to, man? What do you want everyone to follow you on? What do you got coming up?
Well, obviously we all know what's a week from tomorrow. So just gearing up with a lot of different preview pieces leading up to the USC game.
Right.
Uh, Today was a big day for me, and I set foot on campus 7 months later. Like I said in my video piece with Zach Keenan, piece obviously previewing the USC game.
Right.
I've been doing this for 20 years, being an ASU beat writer. I don't think I was ever away 7 weeks away from campus. I mean, you always find a reason to come in the middle of the summer.
Of course.
Even though there's not much going on, but being away from campus 7 months just felt really, really weird. But it was just really felt great
That's
being
cool.
in the shadows of Sun Devil Stadium. We actually did it in front of the Frank Kush statue.
Oh, wonderful.
And socially distanced and everything. I think it's going to come out really good. My multimedia journalist Zach Keenan can work magic. We actually was supposed to have 2 cameras set up, ended up having just one. But
Okay.
I think it's going to come out really, really good.
Good.
So yeah, that's one of a few preview pieces that we have leading up to the USC game. Hermedris is going to have his Monday press conference.
Is that like the regularly scheduled one?
Yes,
Wonderful.
yeah, that was a regular schedule one.
And I have to remember it's at 11 o'clock my time. Because it's
Yes,
noon yours. Yeah.
starting on Sunday. You guys fall behind, Arizona. So yeah, so Herm Edwards press conference along with the coordinators and Jane and Daniels. That's going to be pretty much standard operating procedures. I don't know if we really get that many different players now that they're in pretty much season mode,
Okay.
If you will. And we're just gonna have all the coverage that you would expect leading up to a game. It's not gonna be any different because it's week one or USC. It's really back to normal.
Absolutely.
Slowly but surely. It's just hard to believe this long ass off season is finally
The
coming to an
longest
end,
of off seasons,
and
absolutely.
under very bad circumstances, obviously. So
Absolutely.
just crossing my fingers that things do indeed return to normal without a hitch.
Right.
I know Pac-12 has tried to be very, very cautious. Some would
Mhm.
say overcautious. My only hope is that the overcautiousness, if that's a word,
Yes.
does really yield the dividends you expect it to yield. And if that
Absolutely.
happens, and all Pac-12 teams are able to play 7 games, let alone 7 games in a bowl, for an eighth game, I think it would be worth it at the end of the day because Big Ten already had one game canceled after 1 week,
Right.
and I'm just hoping and praying, crossing my fingers and toes, it doesn't happen in the Pac-12.
That'd be interesting to see if every single game does get played in the conference,
Yes.
where every other conference has at least one canceled.
Well,
Is it just
it's
and was it just Wisconsin, Nebraska, or have there been any other games canceled this week?
no, in the Big Ten, that's the only one. There have been some SEC games postponed,
Because
and yeah, and because the Big Ten, I don't think they had any bye weeks either,
mm,
like the Pac-12.
right, because they
So
were
they talked about maybe playing that game at a later date, but I think if you go on the ESPN college football schedule, it actually shows canceled.
okay.
And I know some people complain about, okay, why did the Pac-12 didn't start the season earlier to give himself that breathing room with the bye weeks? You could probably better explain me being in Northern California
Right.
that even starting in beginning of October, let alone September,
Mm-hmm.
in Northern California, for example, and not only
Schools
Northern
they
California,
wouldn't have
it
played.
was impossible. Just like it
Absolutely.
wouldn't have, I mean, you talk about all the issues that Stanford and Cal had to prepare for a November 7th
Mm-hmm.
kickoff. Now, when you're going to push, well, I guess not push back is the right word, but push back on the calendar, I should say,
Right.
everything to the beginning of October, Northern California schools could never have done that.
California schools, because I don't even think they would have
Yeah.
gotten away with it down
Yeah. I
south.
mean, look, and if you want to get mad at state health officials in California, okay, fine, be mad, but doesn't change the fact that the Pac 12 started as early as possible as they could.
Right.
Sucks not to have a wiggle room with no
Mm-hmm.
bye weeks, but
And like Andrew Taylor said, just we're learning from everyone else's mistakes, which is good, right? Because
I
again, there's
hope
a lot
so.
of
I hope so. Like I said, if the Pac 12, and I think it's going to take maybe not a major miracle, but a minor miracle to really pull it off pull it off without a hitch.
yeah.
If they're able to play at a minimum the 7 game schedule that I'm sorry, the 6 game schedule. Well, I guess 7 game
Mm-hmm.
schedule they wanted all the Pac-12 participants or the Pac-12, I'm sorry, programs to play. If they can pull that off, you know what? Don't complain about the schedule starting later
Right.
because I'm doubtful the Big Ten has seen its last cancellation. I'm not wishing them any ill
absolutely.
will, but I doubt we've seen the last Big Ten cancellation. And,
Agreed.
And the SEC and the ACC and the Big 12 might follow through as we get deeper into winter.
Well, how crazy is this? Because I missed this obviously because I've been limiting my time on Twitter, but
Yeah,
I saw that Trevor Lawrence tested positive.
yeah, he did.
He tested positive yesterday, I guess it was, and so
Yeah.
who else? I mean, were they? I mean, anyway. I don't know who else tested positive. Are they going to cancel all this other stuff?
Well, I mean, he's not going to play against Boston College tomorrow, but
Mhm.
that's a game that people say, without Trevor Lawrence, you should win anyway. But they're playing Notre Dame the next week.
And if he's out,
So
are they going to
Well, he's not going to be out.
So they're going to
He's
do
not going to be out.
So they're doing the whole Nick Saban.
We're going to find a loophole.
They're going to
as big as a Grand Canyon to slip Trevor Lawrence
he plays. And in fact, and that gets the other thing: is Notre Dame going to be healthy enough? Because they've been sick, every damn week anyway. So,
well, I believe they are playing tomorrow,
okay,
and I think they're playing at Georgia Tech. But yeah, Notre Dame had issues too.
They just up until recently, which is crazy. So,
yeah.
Anyway, well, thank you, my friend. As always,
no problem.
Be sure to subscribe to the Huddle on Devil's Digest. Give Hode a follow on the Twitter handle Devil's Digest, as you can see down below. Any other platforms that you're performing? Instagram, YouTube, what else are you guys on?
Yeah, I mean, I have my YouTube channel, Devil's Digest, Instagram, Devil's Digest, Facebook, Devil's Digest. So I'm really on almost almost every platform available,
Good.
aside from TikTok and Twitch. I'm not going to go that far.
See, that's the interesting thing too, because I'm not on Facebook, but I will be on Twitch, TikTok,
Yeah.
and Snapchat. I will do those.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. Anyway,
But
I've
you won't see
lost.
any TikTok dances from me. That I can assure you.
No. I wish I could see you in that linen suit though. But you know, I love you. I cannot appreciate you enough.
Thank
So
you,
thank
sir.
you for
Same
being
here.
the first preview of the season. Again, appreciate everyone that stuck with us and appreciate all the questions that you had in the chat. As always, Hode, thank you so much. Give him a follow, show him some love online. And thank you for everyone that was pinging him that you could not hear or see us and that the stream had ended. So this way we were able to resume that. So stay on the Zoom real quick, Hode, if you could. I'm just going to make a couple announcements and we will go from there. Again, everyone, we have the Sun Devil Summit on November 6th. Next week, starting at 5:30, and then the next day, the virtual tailgate, kegs and eggs, starting at 6 a.m. Pacific. So make sure that you are ready to be able to join us. And co-hosting with Joe Healy, Sparky's Pep Rally at 2 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Mountain on 11/6. Going to be doing that. We're going to have some outstanding guests on there. So looking forward to being a part of that as well. So looking forward to seeing you on all of those. For schedule for me, I believe we're going to have a fan roundtable on Monday. Tuesday is going to be a night off. It is election day. Make sure you have voted. Thank you if you already have. And make sure you spread the word that everyone around you has voted as well. And then Wednesday, we're just going to go ahead and resume and head headlong into game week and watch all the news and make sure that we are enjoying and preparing for that USC win. As always, I cannot thank you enough for spending some of your Friday night with me and Hode. Again, as always, thank you for being a part of the Social Club. I'm hoping you learned some new stuff. I'm hoping you had a good time and you were able to enjoy yourself. As always, I love you with all my heart. I cannot appreciate you enough. This is definitely, you are definitely the reason I am doing this. As always, make sure you love yourself, especially nowadays. Given everything that we see and that we're going regardless, make sure you love those around you. And most importantly, wherever you're at, in some form or another, if you have to give a call, you have to give a text, or even if you're able to see someone in person, as always, make sure that you are staying social. Happy Friday. Have a wonderful, happy Halloween. And we will absolutely see you on Monday with a fan roundtable previewing the USC game. Thanks again, everyone. Good night and go Devils.